This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. Last division in the AFC is the AFC East. We'll start with the Buffalo Bills. And this one, I don't think there's anything tongue-in-cheek or quick about it. The resolution is to win the Super Bowl because this team's been in a winning window for the last 5 seasons. They haven't been able to get by Burrow or Mahomes or whoever it's been in the postseason, and now we have a postseason where Burrow's not in it, Mahomes isn't in it, Lamar Jackson isn't in it. Now, we've got some really fun teams, really talented teams that are new faces that the Bills are going to have to go up against, but not having to face those quarterbacks means that winning the Super Bowl is your resolution. That is your goal. That's what you need to do here.
That's the standard for this team. They have to find a way to, at some point in Josh Allen's career, to get over the hump, right? And when you have number 17 back there at quarterback, you can beat anybody on any field. We got a really tough opponent in Jacksonville. Is Josh Allen good enough to overcome that? Absolutely, he is. Can he beat Denver and New England and everybody in the AFC? He absolutely is capable of doing that. If they don't do it this time around, we go into the offseason saying 2 things. 1, still, for years and years, we've been doing this. Their defense has to get better. They have to find better pieces on defense, I think, especially in run defense. 2, when do we start asking a question about, hey, we need a wide receiver 1? And I know they tried it. They took Keon Coleman in the first round a couple years ago. Has not worked at all. I'm not sure he's going to be on the team next season. Wide receiver, defense. Those 2 things, if they don't win the Super Bowl this time around, to me, those 2 things will be the reason. Yep. And that's what they have to improve in the offseason. If they do win it this time around with this team that they have, more power to them, improve those 2 things, and you could repeat next year.
The Miami Dolphins. What's the resolution here for this team? Looks like they're hanging on to Mike McDaniel. They're going to have a new general manager, but what's the resolution here for a Dolphins team that started off atrociously this year? Ended the year pretty competitively, especially given the fact that they did bench Tua and were starting Quinn Ewers down the stretch.
Credit to Mike McDaniel for how he got his team to play in the second half, but this is almost going to sound funny. I think my 2026 resolution for the Dolphins is to prepare for whatever your 2027 New Year's resolution is going to be, and that's going to start, to me, move on from Tua Tagovailoa at this point. Obviously, the benching was symbolic, even though he was healthy. He did not play well this year. He had the second most turnover-worthy plays in football. And for months and months now, especially with some of the trades that they made, the Dolphins have been starting to reset the salary cap, right? Because, you look at where they've been as far as salary cap goes. They thought they had a winning window with Tua and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They spent a lot of money. Now they got to reset that. Obviously, it's going to cost them next year, if not for 2 years, a lot of dead money in cutting Tua if that's going to be the case. But it just has to be done. They've started this process, trading Jalen Ramsey, trading Jonnu Smith, really trying to create more flexibility. I think they're loading up to take a quarterback in 2027 and really resetting this offense the way that Mike McDaniel's going to want it. Because I do think it is interesting that McDaniel, at least it sounds like for now, is going to stay, and they've already fired their general manager, Chris Greer. So I wonder who they find to really align with McDaniel on the vision for this roster.
Yeah, I think that moving on from Tua in the best way possible sets you up for the best short-term and long-term success. I know it's kind of a duh and an obvious, but you kind of made your bed with the contract that you gave him. He really struggled. You were obviously okay with benching him, and now just figuring out the best way to move on. I mean, I think the offensive line needs to be better. I think the cornerback room needs to be better. Those are all draft needs that I think we could talk about throughout the offseason, but the resolution is just whatever the smoothest and best path forward is to move on from him, navigating the dead cap that you'll have to take on in the best way possible. I agree with you. I think that is truly the resolution for them. For New England, win the Super Bowl, right? Number 2 seed in the AFC, so win the Super Bowl is there for them, but is there another resolution that you have for this team?
I think in a longer term, almost like the Bills too, in a longer term sort of perspective, it is win the Super Bowl, but the Patriots are in the best spot they could possibly be in, right? They just won, 13, 14 games, right? They're the 2 seed. They've got a shot to win this year's Super Bowl. They do. You've got an elite quarterback on a rookie contract. take full advantage for the next 4 years of that while you have the financial flexibility to do so. The Patriots right now projected in this offseason to have over $39 million in effective cap space. That's the 9th most in the NFL, despite having, again, an elite quarterback because he's on a rookie contract. They also have 11 picks in this year's draft.
Right.
Trade up if you need to. Get the elite pieces you're missing. Make an impact trade. Could it be something like, I don't know, maybe a Mike Vrabel reuniting with an A.J. Brown? Get that number one receiver in there. Get better. They need an edge rusher for sure. I think somewhere this offseason they're going to find edge rush help. Maybe somebody like a Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals. Find those missing pieces to make a championship run while you have this quarterback on this contract.
I agree with you. I think hitting the gas pedal as hard as you possibly can this offseason is the best thing that they could possibly do. I think that also looking at the offensive line and looking at all the changes that they made this past offseason and not just standing pat on that, not just being like, okay, yeah, we made our changes there. If I want this team to they have such a luxury of the head start because they nailed a lot of the changes that they made on their offensive line. Every single offseason, take a hard look at the trenches. Say, can we upgrade here? Not, well, okay, we're okay here. No, that's not the question. Can we upgrade? Because if we can, let's do it. And I think that's how you sustain that winning window, and that's how you maximized having Drake May on that rookie contract. So I agree with you. Hitting the gas pedal in the draft and free agency, making sure that you're doing that while you have the salary cap space and the draft flexibility to be able to do so. Rounding it out, last team here in the AFC, it is your New York Jets. What is the resolution here for the Jets in 2026?
The resolution, if we want to stretch it out over the next 2 years, we certainly can. Look, the one thing the Jets have going for them is the best surplus of draft capital in the NFL. They have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years, 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, 4, I believe it's 4 of the top 44 picks in this upcoming draft, and they have basically everything on their roster that they are going to have to figure out, except maybe offensive line. That's the best part of their team, but otherwise you're rebuilding an entire roster. And look, it's going to start in the draft. Darren Muji's going to take a long-term approach to this thing. We're not sure as of this moment yet, even though there's a lot of loud noises surrounding Aaron Glenn and his potential job security. We don't know whether or not he's going to be the 2026 coach. For now, I would assume he is because he's still in that position for the moment. But this is really where the Jets are going to have to rebuild. They have to nail these next 2 drafts. If they don't, they won't get anywhere. They'll be in the same place they've been for the last 15 years.
I think the resolution is pretty simple for them, having the number 2 overall pick this year. I'm assuming that Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore are in this draft. Do as much homework as humanly possible on those 2 quarterbacks. Come to a firm decision on how you feel about both of them. And if one of them is available for you at number 2, you have to be very, very confident with making that pick. Because this is not just well, sure, let's just take one of these quarterbacks, and then if it doesn't work out, we've got a couple of first-round picks the next year. That is true. That is not the way that I would go about this. If you come to the conclusion that you do not like whatever one of these 2 quarterbacks is available for you at number 2, or even if it's Mendoza and then nobody else, don't force it here at number 2. Don't just pick a quarterback because you have the ability to maybe pick one at number 2. They have to be worth it. That's the only way that you maximize having all of these draft picks. So the resolution to me is just nail this quarterback evaluation in this draft. Because all the other picks that you mentioned go after this one.
I think what needs to go into that as well, because this has been their actual problem. We've seen it in the past with this team and these quarterbacks. Geno Smith took a while, became a viable starter. Sam Darnold is currently a viable starter, right? To this day, I still don't even believe they made the wrong pick selecting Zach Wilson. The Jets quarterback problem is also player development. Mm-hmm. And you need to have, if you're Darren Muji, you need to ask Aaron Glenn, Tanner Angstrand, anybody else involved, what is your plan for developing this player? No matter which one, if Mendoza, Moore, if they take one a little later in the first round with number 15 they're picking from the Colts pick. I mean, what is your plan? Because to me, when I watched this team, when they had Zach Wilson in there, offensively there was no plan. Because you also had a first-time offensive coordinator, like they do now, who had no idea how to develop a young guy like that. They need to know not only, okay, what is the eval on this player right now, Mendoza or Moore especially. How are we going to get him where he needs to be? That's been the Jets' biggest problem. Other teams have taken Geno Smith and Sam Darnold and gotten those guys to the level they need to be at, right? So I think development is a big thing, and I do think that is a big question you ask of this coaching staff before you even get into the player eval.
Yep.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok gurus sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.